It's 6 o'clock, so we'll call this meeting to order. Marlene, have an evacuation? Here we go.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
I guess we're next ready for roll call.
Sorry. Larry?
Here.
Bruce?
Here.
Joe? Stanley?
Here.
Brian?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of our last meeting. Do any of you have any changes you want to make to the minutes as provided? Stanley, move to approve. To hear a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Our process is that each item on the agenda, Thomas will give a very brief summary of the request. And then anyone that's in favor of that request come up to the podium and speak to us. And then we'll give anybody a chance that's opposed to it to speak. And this will be an interaction meeting. It's not a presentation. We'll interact with you. So, Thomas?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The request tonight is a variance request. The applicant is seeking relief from the front setback requirements. The applicant is Ronnie and Betty Roach, 303 Cordell Avenue. Just a little bit of background. The lot is about 7,000 square feet. It's over in Eagleton Village. Looks like the lot was platted about 1950. And the house was actually built in 42 according to the tax records. Not really sure if the house was there and then the subdivision came around it, or if there's a little bit of a discrepancy maybe in the tax records, but either way, the point of that is both the lot and the house that's there long predated any of our subdivision requirements or zoning requirements. So when zoning was adopted in 2000, the house itself actually became grandfathered in because the applicant provided a survey, which is in your packet. Survey shows that pretty good portion of the house, the side that's going out towards Cordell, it is a corner lot, I failed to mention that, but that part that's going out towards Cordell, there's a good 10 feet or so of the house is actually in the front yard setback already. So it's already in the front yard setback. So the front setback by our zoning is 30 feet from the edge of the right-of-way, from any right-of-way. And so when you have a corner lot, you actually have two front yard setbacks. And if you look at the survey, you'll see that, so let's look at Cordell Avenue. See the dotted line, you got a dotted box there. That's where everything should be built inside of if it were being built new today. That would be your required setbacks, is that envelope. So you can see that part of the structure just about 10 feet, a little more on one side, a little less on the other, is actually in that front yard setback. So the front of the house, or actually the end of the house that's going towards Cordell, already encroaches into the setback. So the applicant, this came to our attention that he applied for a building permit to build a new screened-in porch on the main road side. And so get the application, look at it, and we realized that the house itself is already right up on the setback, so any addition to it would require variance from this board. So again, as per y'all's requirement, we asked the applicant to provide a survey, and he did. The survey also indicates where the proposed porch would be built, the additional encroachment into the setback that would be required for that. So what they're actually requesting is a reduction of about 10 feet on the main road side. So keep in mind that the Cordell Avenue side, the house is already 10 feet in the setback there. So that's about it. So you got in there in your packet on page 2, you've got the required findings that you'd need to make for an approval. If the board were to deny the request, Section B lists the reasons why you could deny. And I'm happy to answer any other questions the board may have, and the applicant is here tonight to speak as well.
Anyone here in favor of this request? Anyone here in favor of this request? You want to stay up, please? Ronnie, do you have to move your shade tree, or are you going to keep it?
I'm going to keep it.
Okay, great. There was some gray-headed fellow sitting in it the other night when I came by.
What's that?
There was some gray-headed fellow sitting under the shade tree. Must have been you. Must have been you. So actually, if the porch is 7 feet, he's only, the 10 feet gives him a 3-foot variance to that. So
And I believe, I believe, sir, that they were also including the overhang that would be on the roof when they set out the footprint there.
Yes.
Sir, I'm sorry, would you mind stating your name and address, please, for the record?
My name is Ronnie Lyle Roach. I live at 303 Cordell Avenue, Maryville, Tennessee, 37804.
any questions from the committee for Ronnie?
Number of houses out there have buildings on them or additions on them that encroach, just like part of yours encroaches. That's,
Yes, sir.
that's a standard deal out there. Small lots.
But even with this, he's still got 20 feet on both sides, both the side of his house and the front of his house. What is things got?
Given the other area, the houses, I see no problem with roofing that.
I move we approve the variance.
Very sad.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. What's that? Clinton, Tennessee. Apparently, I'm the only person in Eagleton Village ever to apply for a building permit, as far as I've been able to.
Yeah.
I played on that road as a kid, I know it well. Right in the street of Miss Sparks, she still lives there, Helen, went to school there. Boy, we used to play with her, I know well. There used to be a store outside that.
Yes, yes, it's some apartments now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she grew up out there now.
I grew up in Eagleton Village, went to Eagleton School.
Well, thank you all very much. I certainly appreciate it.
It's on the correct side of the house because that's the shady side.
Yes.
Sir,
So do we owe anything today?
no, so just to be clear, this allows me to sign off on the building permit. Still has to get reviewed by the building official for the structural part of it. I would expect to receive a call from the front desk at our office, probably the first part of the week. We're ready for you to pick up your permit, okay? Right. You're welcome. Have a good weekend.
You can come and see over there. It's in good shape.
We're not gonna ride.
How much?
I didn't think about it.
Just for the ride.
Obviously.
Also, Mr. Chairman, if I could one other thing just for the recording, just note that there was no one else in the audience, there was no one in opposition.
We'll have to cut out some of our nonsense, too.
Maybe Marlene could go back and do some editing.
Did am I reading there? Maybe they pulled that? Horizon?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, they pulled it.
Really?
Two things to add to the minutes tonight, if you guys are okay. Marlene has not received any requests for July, and the first Thursday is July 5th, and we're thinking that July 4th is a holiday. So would you guys be okay if we skip the July meeting, and then our next meeting would then be August the 2nd? Yes? Yeah.
Turn that car in.
1 month,
Okay, sounds like a winner to me.
yeah.
Barely.
We can get our training in,
But
there,
it-
right?
That's number 2.
Oh, okay, good.
He hadn't got to that yet.
Okay, second thing on training. We're all going to meet at Three Sisters, but we're not going to tell anybody about it.
No.
No.
Earmuff. You're supposed to say earmuffs.
Oh, I'm
You said
sorry.
earmuffs first.
I must misunderstood what you said earlier.
Hey, where is our attorney tonight?
Now, there is a Three Sisters in the French Quarter of New Orleans we could go to eat.
We're all right with that.
Okay, Thomas, you want to explain to him about
Yeah.
CTAS?
Yeah. So, the highway superintendent has been, I don't know if you all know what CTAS is, CTAS. That's County Technical Assistance Service, and that's something, it's a statewide organization. It's actually affiliated with the university, and they provide technical assistance to county governments. Their counterpart for cities is MTAS, and that's Municipal Technical Assistance Service. Anyway, the county pays a membership fee to them every year, and they provide assistance. If we have, some kind of oddball question, for example, that idea being with 95 counties, 96, I can't remember anyway, that there probably aren't any new questions, and this question's probably been asked before, and they're kind of the repository for that information, and they when new legislation's passed, they sort of crunch it down, give their opinion on how to handle it, and that sort of thing. Well, anyway, the highway superintendent is in regular communication with them all the time over various road issues and things like that, and just came up in discussion, what kind of training do you all provide? And so we posed the question, do you have like a canned sort of presentation for boards of zoning appeal, for example? And they were very excited about coming to us, doing a presentation and a training. So we're looking at sometime in July, having them come to our facility and set up. And my hope would be that it would be like a half a day. Get your whole 4 hours. That's what I'm hoping for. It's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off. Let's just do it and get it done. So I'm pretty excited about it. We don't know the time and date is to be determined, but we will give you all as much warning as we can when we get that set down. So you look like you're going to be out of town.
Yeah, July is a slam month for me, but
Okay.
if I knew what the dates were, I might
Okay.
be able to work it in. So
Okay,
don't-
okay.
Don't build around like.
Okay, sounds good. So. Well, they are a state deal because they're affiliated with the university. So no, we pay a yearly membership fee, which includes everything, right? And so we can ask them whatever. All of their resources are available to us. And they base that, I believe it's based off of population. But so it's really good. It's a very useful, and I don't think we use them enough, honestly. I think we could and should lean on them more than we do, and hopefully this is a step towards that. So, thank you.
So this will be over in your office somewhere.
Yes, sir. Tentatively, we're looking at the new, well, I guess it's not that new now. Been there a year or so. The operations down on the highway side, the operations center. big conference room, they've got the TVs and all that stuff. They've actually held county commission in there before, so it's a nice facility.
There is a conference room there next to the old white bed and breakfast.
Yeah, well, tell me now, here we are meeting is there.
It will have to be advertised as a workshop. Nice try.
Can anybody come and attend it?
In theory, they could. I don't know that they'd want to, but they certainly could if they wanted
So
to.
somebody shows up,
They can sit there and listen to it.
yeah, okay. Okay. Thomas, you have anything else?
That's it, sir.
Marlene, any of you guys have anything? Okay, motion to adjourn? All in favor, aye? Aye. Okay.
All right, see you.
Thanks, guys and lady.